So give it a try. What can it hurt? Give it a try. See if that works for you. I do recommend writing on paper. I have been doing it now for over a year, and this is just a few of the books that I have filled. And I have so many messages that I would love to share out of these books, and it has never felt quite right. So give it a shot. What can it hurt, right? You'll get to know yourself, and you'll be able to release a lot of things that maybe you didn't even realize that you were holding on to, and feel a greater connection with your spirituality and with a collective who is also gaining new footing and understanding and heart coherence with the earth that's resonating in a frequency as well. We're all evolving and transmitting and transmuting and alchemizing. So start somewhere if you haven't started yet. You've got to release the past and surrender to the future, because there's a whole bunch of us waiting for you. All right. So let's talk about spiritual journaling now, because this ties in perfectly to this, because clearly spiritual journaling is what allows me to read the message that I had written this morning. Had I not been journaling, there would have been no concrete way for me to tell you what I had actually received and engaged with. So for me, as I had said before, I just have these cheap journals, right? They're meant for school. I find them good because they have this binding, which makes them easier to flip open. It allows more space to write, and for me, that's very important. I can't have a binding, because what I find is I need it to lay flat, because I'm writing very quickly, and I need it to actually be not distracting to me. I don't need to be holding a book down. It doesn't need to be pretty. I don't need any of those things. I am needing to offload what is coming in, and I needed to do it in the most seamless way possible. So for me, these books, you can choose whatever book you want. And like I had said before, what I had started with, and I'll attach that picture, is simple, because my world was so dysregulated, and I was so dysregulated within my environment of everything drawing from me, pulling from me, needing something from me. I needed to do and take care of everything and everyone, that I honestly, identifying what actually were my wants, needs, desired, whatever, was very, very difficult, and completely exhausted, totally burnt out, completely. And so the best way that I found, I was doodling. I was in taking a master's level course in counseling. I forget what it was on, and they weren't even talking about this, but I was trying to stay focused and pay attention, and that was challenging. And so I literally just took one of these books, opened up the page, drew a circle, wrote at the top, "Today I feel." I wrote the date. I made sure so that I could track progress, to track patterns, to see what was continually repeating for me. So in my circle, which was me, "Today I feel." Anything outside of the circle were outside influences. Within the circle was me, right? And that helped to clarify what is mine and what is an outside influence or someone else's, so that I know what I want to change or not change, what I want to really dig into, why I'm having certain feelings, and why these patterns are showing up. That helps to identify these patterns of, well, I see that for the last 5 days, I've been feeling really low. Or for the last 5 days, I haven't been sleeping. I haven't been eating properly. I've been drinking a lot of coffee, right? So connecting. So not only do you write in there your emotions of I'm feeling low, sad, tired, you can then write what I've been doing. And that could be hard when you start. It might not be, but it might be. So just take a moment, because maybe it's been a really long time since you've thought about how you feel, what you're experiencing, separate from the world around you, which is the outside of that circle. How do you feel? Are you joyful? Are you sad? Do you feel tired? Are you angry, frustrated, hopeless, excited? Whatever the feelings that you're having, just don't judge them. Just write. That's the idea. Just write. Write in that circle and fill it up if you can. If you can't and you don't have a lot to say, because there's some days you just don't. You're just like tired. That's what I got for you. And the key is maintaining this journal consistently. So just if it's one word that you've got, that's the word that you've got. And do this for a while, right? So do this for a while, maintaining this. Just keep it super simple. And by a while, do it for a week, right? Just do it for a week. It usually takes 3 weeks for a pattern or routine to kind of set in. But for the first week, do kind of like a review of it to notice anything. Is there any consistencies that you're noticing? And then, if you feel comfortable that that's good for you and, that's so mundane and I'm not getting anything out of it, then add the next layer. Right underneath it. Put underneath, what did I do today? Like, what actions did I take? Or what responsibilities did I have? Those are doing, right? Those are doing things. Went to work, was up super early, had to let the dog out, kids needed me to blah, 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 partner needed blah, 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 parents needed blah, 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 different things like that. The demands, grocery shopping, had to food prep, different things, the do, right? So put that underneath. Don't put it in your circle. Keep it outside your circle. And so do that then for another week. So you're having your date, your circle of feelings, and your doing underneath, right? And do that for a week. And at the end of that second week, now look back and say, okay, look at that. I'm doing, you're probably going to say, I'm either doing way too much, I'm doing so much stuff, no wonder I'm tired. There's so many demands on me and I feel like I can never keep up. No wonder I'm feeling sad and hopeless and alone. I'm at home and I'm doing this, and this, and I just keep doing this, and this. No wonder I'm feeling frustrated. I don't feel like I'm making gains. So you see those connections, right? The feeling to the doing. And it's making these links. So continue to do this. Continue to write these things down in your journal with the dates. Because dates are actually important. Because what you'll notice is when you go back after some time and you start to see these patterns, these links between repeated things keep coming up and the feelings that you're having, you're going to notice the date as well. Because when you're comfortable with maintaining this journal for a while and you start to get to know yourself and how you respond and engage and react and how you interpret different situations, energies that come into your environment or that you solicit. It's that self-awareness that will really help you when you see behaviors and patterns in yourself that you know are not working for you. You can start to identify those links. And so what you eventually will come to be at a place, and everybody is different, so it's hard to say, like, you know, in 3 weeks time you will do this, or in a week, whatever. Some people have already been journaling for a long period of time, and this is nothing new, right? And they have their own way of doing it, and I think that that's fantastic, because it's meant to be something that you can customize to you and your life. Maintaining this space for yourself. After a period of time, when you get into the flow and you get to know yourself and you start to realize and you start to release some of these things, which could be environments, people, different patterns with people and environments, when you start to just kind of free yourself from that, right? That letting go, new things come in. There's room now. There's space. New epiphanies that you have. A greater understanding of what you will tolerate, what you won't, what you want to see for your life, what you do not, will not accept, and also a more global, universal perspective. Because what I did when I had these early days and I was, you know, piecing these different feelings and doings together and seeing the patterns, and then I would start to just document the messages I've always been receiving but never had a chance to write down. I just started to write them down, not question them, but just write them down. Right? I maintained the whole feelings, doing, and then I would write whatever was coming through. And we all have them. We all have these little thoughts, and we often dismiss them and go, what was that? Where'd that come from? What does that have to do with anything? Instead of doing all that, write it down. Write it down. Don't judge it. Just write it down. And so you will then notice, again, there's some links. So the more that I did that, what I found was I stopped really writing about my feelings as a separate entity, because I got to know that, okay, this is how I'm operating. I would write down the things that I'm doing like a self-check-in. I'm doing too much and I'm not being enough. Just being, instead of overcompensating, perfectionism, doing. So to keep myself in balance, and then write the messages. And as I was writing the messages and really making notes of all the signs, symbols, synchronicities, experiences that I have, which are so amazing my whole life, documenting them, I'm starting to see more patterns. And also really appreciating that this is not the experience that everyone has had, because for so long, not paying any attention to it, I just believed that everyone was living in the same way, having these same experiences, and we just weren't talking about it. Coming to recognize even more deeply that we all have a mission and a purpose. We're all meant to be here for a reason. And that by getting to know ourselves, really soulfully know ourselves, we become our mission and purpose. And we share from that place. So as I made notes of all these things that I'm noticing and experiencing, I then started a routine, which I had actually from the beginning. So no social media, none in the morning when I get up, absolutely none. I have my routine of the things that I just to get me up out of bed and move, because all of my connections to systems that required things of me, I've cut them off. I have no demands. So I need to set my own routine that works for me and my well-being. No social media. I go outside, get some fresh air. And that doesn't mean I go out and I do something. I literally just walk outside and I breathe a few breaths of fresh air. I look at the sky and the clouds or the sun or whatever is happening. And I just be grateful. And I tell myself, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. And then I come back in the house and I start to write. And it can be a lot. It can be a lot of whatever's happening, but I just get it out. I allow it to flow. And then afterwards, when I'm done, as what I call, it's like a reward for me, because was raised on, rewards. Pavlov's dog, basically. Hi. So I reward myself by, I have a few channels on YouTube that I got watching. Never have watched tarot before. Like, I knew about tarot. I've had tarot card readings. I've experienced many different things being so curious over my lifetime, but I've never sat down and sought out. I didn't even know that actually existed. So I have a few channels that I go to and I turn them on, and it never fails. That's something specific that I have written in my book. So I haven't typed anything online, so I haven't spoke about it. I'm very aware of our electronics listening to us. So there's no speaking about it. It's just writing in a book on paper where the whole world could go down and I can still look at my book. It's having this confirmation and validation show up, which is reassuring. We don't need it, but it feels good to have that reassuring confirmation, especially early days when you're just starting out something new, right? So give it a try. What can it hurt? Give it a try. See if that works for you. I do recommend writing on paper. I have been doing it now for over a year, and this is just a few of the books that I have filled. And I have so many messages that I would love to share out of these books, and it has never felt quite right. So give it a shot. What can it hurt, right? You'll get to know yourself, and you'll be able to release a lot of things that maybe you didn't even realize that you were holding on to, and feel a greater connection with your spirituality and with a collective who is also gaining new footing and understanding and heart coherence with the earth that's resonating in a frequency as well. We're all evolving and transmitting and transmuting and alchemizing. So start somewhere if you haven't started yet. You've got to release the past and surrender to the future, because there's a whole bunch of us waiting for you. All right. Until next time, everyone, stay safe and stay connected, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.